Welcome back to the Crochet Creative. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com. This is one of our own designs called Through the Forest Afghan. It's using Caron original cakes. It's the Caron cake. So let's begin today. You can either chain 129 as per the pattern, or you can do multiples of 16 plus 1. So for sample reasons I'm just going to do a small sample with you, so I'll use the multiples for myself. So I got two different yarn strands coming from two different balls. I can have one from here and I got one from the other one, and they're both a different color, so I'm going to create a marled look just to begin. So you want to treat them like they're one yarn strand. So it's a way of thickening up your yarn as well. And then put it onto your size L 8mm crochet hook. So you can either chain 129 or chain in multiples of 16 plus 1. So let's do the 16. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So that's one chevron that is in the blanket. So 16 makes up one. So when you're looking at it from this perspective, you're thinking, wow, that's a pretty wide afghan once you get to a certain size. Remember that it does go up and down pretty sharply. So what you think is as wide as it's going to be, once you go across the first time, it's going to condense your chain down. So let's continue to do another multiple of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And I'm going to do it one more time just so I have 3 sets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Once you're satisfied with the width of it, or if you change 129, if you change 129, just get ready for the next row. But if you've done your multiples of 16, don't forget to add 1 at the very end to keep this chain in balance for the rest of the afghan. So what we're going to do now is work our way across row number 1. So let's work our way across row number 1. So we're going to go second chain from the hook, and then we're going to go just get to the back hump only and just insert in. And I want you to single crochet into that same chain twice. So 1 and 2. So now we're gonna go in the down motion. So there's an up and down motion. So we're gonna go in the down motion. So the next 5 chains in a row will each be 1 single crochet. So just going into the back hump only. So 1, and the next one is 2, 3, and this is 4, and 5. So this is in the down motion. You'll see it happen in just a second. So the next 2 in a row are going to be 2 single crochets together. So go into the next chain, insert in, pull through, and don't finish that stitch. Just go into the next chain after that, insert in, pull through, and now you got 3 sets of loops. Okay, so just make sure that you're looking at these loops as if they're one string. I know it appears separate, but continue to look at them as if they're one. So you have a total of 3 loops on there, so pull through all 3. So the next 2 in a row are also going to be single crochet 2 together. So insert in, pull through, and go into the next one and pull through, and then pull through all 3 sets. Okay, so you got that good. So that's the very bottom of the chevron. It'll show up in just a few moments. So the next 5 in a row are each going to be 1 single crochet. So just continue to go across. So 1, 2, and this is 3, 4, and 5. So now you can kind of see it's kind of got the bend going on here at the base. See that? So now we're at the top of the peak. So the next 2 in a row are each going to be 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1, and making sure that the yarn is going into my hands properly. So that was 1, and the second one into the same one, and into the friend right next door, the next chain is going to be 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. So that causes the bend so in the top of the valley. Okay, so you kind of see it coming down. This is gonna then start coming down. So the next 5 in a row are each going to be 1 single crochet each. So you got 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4. Make sure you get both strands at the same time when you're going to wrap. So let me recount that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5. And now you're at the bottom of the valley again. So the next 2 in a row are going to be put together. So single crochet the two together. So just go into the next one, pull through, go into the next one after that and pull through, and then pull through all three sets of loops and do it one more time. So the next one, pull through, and the next one, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops, and then go back up the hill. So you'll do 5 going back up the hill, and then the next 2 are 2 single crochets into the next 2, and then down the hill. So just continue to go in that fashion, and you should have a zigzagging line at the end of your row. So please do that, and I'll see you at the end of this row. I'm showing you how to finish off. So when you finally get to the end of the row, these 2 are together and then these 2 are together. The yarn happened just to change on its own. That's what makes it kind of fun. So that as you're coming back up the hill, the next 5 in a row will each be 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that will leave you with 1 chain left over, and in the final chain you will put in 2 single crochets to bring this row to conclusion. So this is the only way that you're gonna do row number 1, and then we're gonna turn our work and then begin row number 2. So let's turn our work, and in row number 2 we're gonna start establishing the moss stitch which appears within this pattern. So let's talk a little bit about that let's talk a little bit about that. Well, that's all, folks. Hopefully you're enjoying today's tutorial so far. So we're gonna create what is called the moss stitch. So it's a combination of doing different kinds of ideas when it comes to this particular stitch. So what you're looking at here is that when you pull it apart, you can clearly see that there's a gapping space, and then single crochets are working into these spaces. So this is the moss stitch. This is used a lot in color pooling. I don't think that you can use color pooling concepts for this particular up and down motion. So we're gonna be creating what these spaces are, and then once we get to row number 3, the rest of this afghan is just completing the same thing as row number 3. So I have to get you to row number 3 basically as the bottom line. So let's begin row number 2, and we're gonna start establishing the gapping spaces. So we're gonna chain up 1, and into the same one that you're coming out of, you're gonna put 2 single crochets into that one. So 1 and 2, and we're gonna start heading down the hill. But before we do, we have to chain 1 first, and we skip the next stitch and just single crochet in the next one after that. And then we're gonna continue, so we chain up 1 again, skip the next stitch, and single crochet in the one after that. Okay, make sure you get all your strands. If you're new to doing double stranded, sometimes this can be a real pain, but you will get used to it. It's not a big deal. So then chain up 1, and now the next, you're gonna skip the next one, and the next 2 are gonna become together as a 2 together single crochet. So skipping the next one, go into the next one after that, pull through, and go into its friend right next door, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops. And you're gonna do that again. So go into the next one right after that, pull through, and the one right after that, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops. And you're gonna start working up at the top of the hill. So you're gonna do that at the base of your chevron to create that momentum, right? So now you're gonna chain up 1, skip 1 chain, and single crochet in the one after that. And then you're going to chain up 1, single crochet the second chain, so skip 1 and go into the one after that. So single crochet in the second stitch, sorry. So you should know that in between the base and the tops there will only be 2 single crochets that sit by themselves. So it's chain up 1 and skip the 1, and now what you have here, these are the 4 that are in the top of a valley, or top of a hill. So you skip the next one and single crochet into the one after that, and you're gonna do that twice. So single crochet into that same one twice. That's 1/2 of your hill, and the other half is in the next stitch right next door. So it's gonna be 2 into the same one in the next one here. Okay, so that's gonna happen every time you're at the top of the hill. So now you can see that you've worked your way down and gone back up, and now you're at the top of the hill. Now you're gonna go back down. So to start, chain up 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next. Chain up 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. Chain up 1 to begin, skip the next one, and put the next 2 together. Okay, this is the base of your hill, and you're gonna do that again. So the next 2 are gonna come together. And then chain up 1 and go back up the hill. So skip the next one, single crochet in the next, chain up 1, single crochet in the next one after that, chain up 1, and now you're back at the top of the hill. So skip the next one, and the second one after that is going to be 2 single crochets into the same one, and then do 2 single crochets in the friend right next door. And you're gonna continue to do that all the way across. You see how the coloring changing is actually really neat. So this is called marled yarn when you do this. So chain up one, go back down the hill. So skip one first, single crochet, chain up one, skip another one, single crochet, chain up one, skip one, and then put the next two together. And then put the next two together. You're at the base of the valley here. And then chain up one, skip one, and single crochet going back up the hill. Skip one, single crochet in the next, and then at the very end of this, when you hit the very end, you're going to chain up one and skip one, and the very last one here will be 2 single crochets into the same one, and you're going to end. So just leave everything on your hook for now, and you can see that you've gone up and down in the motion, and you can see that it's really starting to turn out really quite lovely. So let's begin row number 3. We're gonna turn and work, and row number 3 is the repeat for the remaining of your blanket. So this is all you need to know then is row number 3. So let's begin row number 3. Row number 3 is the repeat all the way for the rest of the blanket. So we've got you established with row number 1. Row number 2 is about creating these gapping spaces, and then row number 3 is going to be the gapping spaces continuing to repeat all the way through your afghan. So chain up one and single crochet twice into the very first one. So 1 and 2, and then chain up one. And what you want to do is that you want to look for the chain one space that you created. So there's a stitch, here's the chain one space, single crochet right into the space, and then chain up one, and then just pull it apart and go into the next chain one space and single crochet, and then chain up one. So when you're in the base of the hills, you got to watch out for this. You have a space here, a stitch, and a space. Okay, so what you want to do is that after you've chained one, you go into the first space, going in, collect it, don't finish it, and then go into the next stitch, going in, pull through, and collect it. You have 3 sets of loops, pull through all 3. So on this side of the base of the valley is that you're going to go into the stitch first and leave it on your hook, and then go into the chain one space, collect, and now pull through all 3 loops. So when you start off in the base here on the one side, you're going into a gap and then a stitch, and the other one is a stitch and then into the gap. So let's work our way up the hill, chain up one, and look for the next gap space, single crochet right into it, chain up one, look for the next gap space, chain up one, and now you're at the top here. So you got your 4 single crochets right at the top. So you skip the next stitch and double crochet, or sorry, single crochet twice into the next stitch, and then go into the stitch right next door to it, and you're gonna do 2 single crochets there, and then you're gonna work your way down the hill. So chain up one, okay, and go right to the next chain one space, single crochet, chain one, go to the next chain one space, single crochet, chain one, and then the next space and the stitch are gonna come together. So go into the space first, collect it, into the stitch, collect it, and then pull through all 3, and then in the next stitch pull through, go into the next space, pull through, and pull through all 3 sets. So to go back up the hills, chain up one, going into the chain one space, single crochet, chain one, go into the next chain one space, single crochet, chain one, and now you're at the top of the hill. So skip the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the one after that. You're at the top of the hill, and then 2 single crochets into its friend right next door, and then work your way down the base. So let's go down the base, and then let's go back up, and we'll be at the end of our row. So you just keep on going up and down the whole motion of the ocean kind of idea. So chain up one, going into the chain one space, chain one, going into the next chain one space, chain one, and then go into the next chain one space, and then going into the stitch right after it. Okay, then go into this next stitch, and then the chain one space, collect it, and then just put them together, chain one to begin, and then start working your way up the final hill. So just going into the space, chain one, going into the next chain one space, single crochet, and then chain one, and then finally you're at the very end. So skip the next one and then single crochet twice into the final stitch at the top of the hill. So this chaining of 3, or this row 3, is basically the repeat pattern going this whole thing. And so let me just show you again, just to get you started and making sure you're on the right track. So you're gonna chain up 1 and single crochet twice into the top one, and then you're gonna chain 1 and then just pull it apart. You can see it. It's a chain 1 space going into that one, chain 1 going into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then the next chain 1 space, and then the stitch right after it is going to be put together, and then the next stitch plus the chain 1 space is going to be put together as the base of your hill, and then chain up 1 going into the next chain 1 space, single chain 1 going into the next chain 1 space with a single, chain 1, and now you're at the top of the hill again. So skip the next one and 2 single crochets into the next one after that, and then do its friend right next door. So do it 2 at the top and then back down. So chain up 1, the next chain 1 space, chain 1, next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then you're at the base. So start with the first space, then the next stitch, put those together, go into the stitch, so chain 1 space, put those together, and then chain 1 and start working your way back up the hill. So right into the space, chain 1, okay, single crochet, chain 1, and then you're at the top there. So skip the next one and then 2 single crochets in the next one. So that's all you're gonna do with this, and the yarn will change color on its own, and it's a really neat idea. So this is a marled look versus putting the yarns together when the yarns are matching exactly with the same colors. So this is how you do this stitch. This is through the forest afghan. This is the moss stitch all done as a chevron. So until next time, have a great day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.